People are curious how a guy... You've sold how many records? 28 million and made millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. How do you end up in here? I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here. I don't know if they do. I'm pretty sure they do. That I was under at that time didn't do nothing to keep my name alive. You know what I'm saying? Took me off the website. Just left me for dead. You know what? I think a lot of people lose sight of the fact that no matter how strong you are as a man, no matter how tough you are, we all need to be somebody's baby. I mean, I've been dealing with this man for 5 years. Damn. 4 strokes. Damn. Man, I don't know what to tell you, man. This ice is crazy. This heist is hard, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no house to live in. DMX and Black Rob weren't just big names in hip-hop. They were artists who spoke truths most people in the industry didn't want to hear. DMX openly talked about meeting the devil and warned about the dark side of the music business. And he didn't just talk about the streets, he was calling out the people controlling the game. Black Rob had a similar story. The guy had talent and real street credibility, but he wasn't molded for radio-friendly hits. So Diddy's label, Bad Boy, cut him off. He ended up facing prison, health problems, and huge medical bills alone, while his albums and income were stripped away. Both DMX and Black Rob lived through the parts of the music industry no one talks about, and it left them exposed, struggling, and ultimately shaped their final years in ways most fans never saw. So, let's dive into what really happened behind the scenes, but the story's already been written. At the end of the day, God wins. First, let's rewind to 2007 when DMX delivered his iconic poem, The Industry, on HBO's Def Poetry Jam. It was a legendary moment with X exposing the real workings of the music game and how artists are often pushed to sell out. The industry, man. It's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent. It's about playing the game. The industry real dykes is dying to get in. The industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry is trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry. But you heard because he's bluffing. The industry money just hate for that day, to try to take up one short thing off my plate. The industry? Like, wait, but in the streets we get them 17 up in that thing. Catch them sleeping, hit them. The industry, if you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down. It's a matter of time. The industry vultures with nothing to feast on. See me. I'm getting my beast on. The industry. Stay in the dirt. Play in the dirt. Test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the I want because nobody can finish me. The industry wanted dead or alive new artists to sell their souls in way they survive. The industry don't give a about you. But the industry couldn't make a dime without you. The industry, I'm sick of this industry. The industry playing them like an industry. They tried to finish me quick, but I am long, so I stand strong beat. Listen to the words in the damn song, but you know what I'm saying? And it basically reflects on my relationship with the industry. This is what it is. Often my words fall on deaf ears. Just be listening, but don't hear talking to a I. He'd be sitting right here. I'd be like, where you going? Be like, yeah, thank you. You could feel that DMX was speaking from experience, warning up and coming artists about the cost of selling out. I go with the flow, you know? I'm inspired by life. The game is man, and the game is if you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I call The Industry. And that pretty much explains they were saying what the Sane My Techer is about. The industry, man. It's not the same. The industry, it's not a game. The industry, real, is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. But DMX wasn't just breaking down street life or label politics. He also spoke about God, the devil, and what he saw as a real spiritual battle happening behind the scenes. Whenever I went through something, it brought me closer to God. And I stayed into something, so now I'm closer to God. But being closer is hard. The attacks get stronger, become much harder to fight, and they last longer. That's what it's always been. Joy, pain, dark with the light, sun with the rain. With the right perspective, there can be something to gain, looking for the good and the bad. In interviews and in his music, X made it clear that the darkness in the industry went beyond money or power. He believed the devil was real and that certain people in the business were channeling that energy, pushing artists to sell their souls. He even said he was offered that path himself, but refused it, and began warning others about the devil in the industry. And that decision didn't come without consequences. Fast forward to September 2013 when X appeared on the Dr. Phil show. He spoke about his life, his legal troubles, money struggles, personal battles, and the challenges he faced in the music business with the snakes hiding in the grass. Well, I want to take a look at some of the lyrics from your song. How about, I pick the lyrics? Who we be? I think you'll like these lyrics. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the gain. I like what you said. Yeah. Did it. The friends, the foes, the bins, these studios, the shows. Why don't you just read it? I like the way you shows. It comes and it goes. The jealousy, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave him the slugs. The one that put a Mimi, the snakes, the grass. Too long to see the lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. It's right there. Just mow that grass and you'll see the snakes. Yeah. And then Dr. Phil shifted the conversation to X's spiritual side. He brought up the song Lord Give Me a Sign, and X explained that every one of his albums contains a prayer or some form of dialogue with God. You've had, I guess I would call it a gospel song, or certainly gospel song, and a conversation with the Lord on every album. On every album, Lord, give me a sign. I pulled some of those lyrics out. Tell me what these lyrics are and what it's a conversation with the Lord. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. I'm still going through it. Pain in the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the pain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through. We're trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will know no shame. Spit it right from the heart. 'Cause it's right from the start that you held me down. Down and ain't nothing they could. Tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Then Dr. Phil asked DMX what he meant by having not one but 3 run-ins with the devil. And X replied that to truly understand what's happening in the world, you have to see both sides. He said he recognized it was the devil each time because of what was being offered. Things that sounded appealing on the surface but came with a price. Song on every album, a conversation with God, you've had, and a prayer. And I think you've had 3 conversations with the devil. 3 conversations with the devil. Why with the devil? Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached. So, of course, I had a conversation. It didn't mean it doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I fit out 7 albums, but he's only on 3. But this wasn't just something DMX made up for the show. He actually talked about meeting the devil in another older interview that recently resurfaced. In January 2009, while serving a 90-day sentence in an Arizona jail for charges including substance possession and theft, DMX spoke to Fox 10 News. He reflected on his first impressions of Arizona, calling it God's country because of its stunning sunrises. But he also revealed something disturbing, claiming he had met the devil in God's country. X didn't name anyone specifically, but he made it clear that this encounter tied Arizona to a spiritual battle in his mind, and he promised never to return. All right. I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 hours in the morning and pulling over on the highway, be like 4 cars, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what? This has to be God's country, because I've never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country, and it's not so much it's what, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people, you can't call one person the devil, Joe, You can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil, And, it's through all these hardships that I realized that, what this is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country because he helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles. Okay. So, but when you're done here, when you're out of here, I'm not looking back. You're not coming back? No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the States. If I'm in a plane and they got to fly over to go around. Okay. But what did DMX really mean when he said he met the devil in Arizona? Was it just a metaphor? Or was he talking about something real? Maybe a moment when someone powerful offered him a deal, and he had to decide whether to sell out or stay true. Well, DMX was always calling out record labels for controlling artists and making shady, even indecent proposals. And he made it clear he was not about that life. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executives, and it's like there's too much of that going on. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music. You mean? Exactly. Now, they want you all up under this, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and, all that favor for a favor. Don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money. So when DMX said he met the devil in Arizona, maybe he was talking about someone from the industry who approached him with a dark offer. Now Arizona has always carried a strange, dark vibe. Open spaces, isolation, secrecy. And if you look closer, it's not just cacti and sunsets. It's reportedly a hot spot for some seriously shady activity. So, DMX went to Arizona expecting peace and spirituality, God's country. But what if he ran into people tied to some shady underground network? Arizona is also packed with so-called celebrity rehab centers, those sketchy treatment facilities for the rich and famous. They promise to fix you, but often isolate patients, overload them with meds, and according to rumors, even use MK Ultra style tactics. Slave at first, and so they do a lot of sensory deprivation. They do a lot of sensory overload, and they switch between the two, and they do out-and-out torture. DMX went in and out of rehab centers multiple times, many of them in the Southwest. So maybe rehab wasn't just about substance use. It might have been about trying to break his spirit and reset him so he'd stop speaking out. And what's even more disturbing, something almost identical happened to Black Rob. Born Robert Ross in Buffalo, New York, Rob got into music around age 11 or 12. Back then, he was mostly a troublemaker, spitting bars to impress girls. In the late 80s, he ended up in jail where he met rapper Tragedy Gaddafi. They became friends, and Tragedy inspired Rob to take music seriously. When he got out, he embraced that path, adopting the name Bacardi Rob and joining his first rap group, the Schizophrenics. That's crazy. The group never dropped an album, but Rob showed his talent through demos. Eventually, he left the group and found himself in an office with Diddy. He signed as a bad boy artist, and soon enough, he was rapping alongside some of the industry's biggest names. RP that was really failing me. So he was like, yo, listen, I got some people I know a lot. I was thirsty at the time. I signed some paperwork with him that, not knowing I was signing a production deal like Sign My Life with This Cat. He took me to Puff. They went to Howard together. Like if I had knew Puff at that, if I knew it would have bogged down to all list, I should have knew better. I went up to the office and it was on 18th Street. I went up there, I spit it out for Puff. I had my tape. Cassettes was out, man. So all y'all dudes, man, don't understand how far I'm going back. I'm going back to Maxell TDK. Started rapping, and he was like, yo, that's hot. Pump was like, yo, listen, man, haul at you. Go in the lounge for a little while. Come see me. So about 10-20 minutes later, he came back out like, yo, this? So from there, man, it was like history after that, man. Couple months? Later, I got a big check and I was just in Harlem, man, flossing throughout all the... But here's where things get tricky. Black Rob never reached the commercial heights of Diddy's other artists. He wasn't molded for crossover hits or pop radio. His style stayed firmly in street rap, which made him less profitable in the eyes of a major label. Still, Rob was an essential part of the bad boy brand. He brought that New York street energy, and for fans craving real hip-hop, he was the closest bad boy had to that kind of authenticity. Unfortunately, his momentum hit a wall in 2004 when he was sentenced to 4 years in prison for grand larceny. And just like DMX, Black Rob had a transformative experience in prison, using that time to craft some of the most meaningful rhymes. Dope Ford. Calm. Now listen, when you really rhyme and really do this, you got stacks of pads. Look at my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the bag. I don't want to go in, but it's mad pads in that bag. That's when you really do this, man. Say this. I don't really do this. When it gets stacked up like this black right here. That's the reason why I do. But unfortunately, by the time Rob got out, the music world had moved on without him. Meanwhile, things were happening behind the scenes. And while Rob was behind bars, Diddy seized the opportunity to cut him out. He removed Rob's name from the Bad Boy website and didn't offer any support with his legal troubles. All the other people up at Bad Boy, nobody reached out to me one time. I don't even care, because all it takes is a press of the button. Department of Corrections, my name, my birthday. I used to work here. When I heard that, seeing this ain't in jail and you ain't come CPR. Like all the years we spent together like that, didn't mean nothing to you, dog. You actually think I'm not your man? So that right there told me was never my man ever. You got 50 employees, man. You ain't even have to write the letter. On top of that, Bad Boy made it incredibly difficult for Rob to make music. And he said the executives completely disrespected his creative vision. Man, some of these dudes out here, these dudes is trash, my man. They crazy trash. It's no creativity, no authenticity. It's no, you don't even have style, swag, nothing. But you're able to spit a couple of words, and the people that you got behind you is able to push that, and it's a big record. You know what I'm saying? See, back then, you had to really be a spitter. Come out with some creativity. Up north, I only listened to 2 or 3. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Kiss. You know what I'm saying? Fifth. You know what I'm saying? And probably Banks. Dude, look who I was hanging with. You know what I'm saying? Big. You know what I'm saying? Locks, Mace, everybody on that label's gold and platinum. And P was looking for something else. You feel me? But, it wasn't never a situation where, yo, pup, let me know. You got something for us, So I was like, yo, I got something for you. By that point, Rob's music career had already dried up and he was forced into early retirement. Meanwhile, he was dealing with serious health problems. 4 strokes, kidney failure, and a need for dialysis. This is a real serious, I had a stroke. You had a stroke? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had a stroke. And, but I got over that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got over that. I can show you how to get over that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm over that. You know what I'm saying? To make matters worse, Rob lost his health insurance, leaving him buried under hundreds of thousands in medical debt. See, he had coverage as a bad boy artist, but while he was in prison, Diddy took away his health benefits. You didn't even have to write the letter. I had got sick with the kidney. You know what I'm saying? And up there, you know what I'm saying? They was asking me, I have insurance and all this. Yeah, I had insurance when I was employing that Bad Boy Records. I had insurance. Oh, well, you need to call them and see what's up with that. So I called them. My lawyer calls them and they talking about, oh, now we took him off of that. Y'all took me off of that, so I'm supposed to get these meds, man. But that wasn't the end of it. Diddy also pulled Rob's albums from shelves, cutting off his only real source of income. It's all right, you took me off the medication. You took me off the insurance. Okay, now you take me off the website. You don't come see me. You don't write me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need no money because, like I said, I'm always get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, my records sell, they sold. So I'm always gonna have some type of money coming in my account or whatever. It was like they said, well, that all right? Now I'm home and I shouldn't have said, you feel me? That's funny, right? Puff wasn't the one doing the records with me. You know what I'm saying? He was just the last word. Good record. I like that. I want to get on that. It's a good record. No, he's not in the studio 20 hours, 15 hours with me. Never. It wasn't no love over there, man. Wasn't no love. Like, you know, dudes was just using, like, trying to use me, like, yo, why I can't get it on music by mail? Why I can't get it here? Like, why I can't buy cassette of this? You feel me? It's 'cause or took shelf. They used the black. Rod report. You know what I'm saying, as a springboard for the Biggie duet album, but Puff wasn't doing nothing eventually. It all caught up with Black Rod. And by 2021, news broke that he was homeless. DJ Self posted a heartbreaking video showing Rob in a hospital bed, barely recognizable. He took the time to pay tribute to the late DMX, and it was so sad to watch because the pain in his voice said it all. Pain is crazy, man. It's helping me out though, man. It's making me realize I got a lot to do, man. Lot. To go on, man. Man, iMusic, how you feel about X? I mean, I feel everything about X, man. X more love, man. Positive X to make big love to X, man. It's all, man. Tragically, just 8 days after DMX passed, Black Rob also died after suffering a cardiac arrest in an Atlanta hospital. Two legends dying within days of each other and almost at the same age. DMX was 50 when he died, and Black Rob was 52. But their stories aren't just about fame and music. They're about survival in an industry that can chew you up and throw you away if you don't play by its rules. Both of them spoke out. Both of them stayed true to themselves. And both of them faced consequences most people never hear about. From shady offers and sketchy rehab centers to losing health coverage and creative control, their experiences show a side of hip-hop that's rarely talked about. At the same time, their music and interviews remain as a warning. They weren't just artists. There were voices calling out the system, trying to protect others from the traps they fell into. And while their lives ended too soon, their messages are still there for anyone willing to listen. Now, let me hear your thoughts on how the industry treated DMX and Black Rob. Were they taken out for knowing too much? Or was it all just a set of tragic coincidences? And do you think things like this are still happening to artists today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in this next video.